As a motivational speaker, I have often been asked, how did you become a motivational speaker? But what I've realised more recently is more and more people are starting to ask, why? Why are you a motivational speaker? Now the easy answer would be to say something like, I do it to make a difference. I do it to help other people, to help themselves, to inspire people. And that's magic. I love doing that. But I want to try and give you a proper answer as to why I do what I do. In other words, share my why. And I'm going to take you way back to my 14th birthday on the 18th of June 1994. My most treasured gift that year was a Walkman, a Sony Walkman. Not any Walkman, this was absolutely not a CD. This was a cassette. Some of you remember cassettes, some of you perhaps not so much. And of course I had no cassettes of my own other than my mum and dad's cassettes to play in it. I also got for my birthday that year a £10 voucher for a shop called Our Price. Again, some of you remember Our Price, some of you not so much. And the nearest Our Price to where I lived was in the next town. Now I live in a little town called Troon, and the next town that had an Our Price was Ayr. To get to Ayr, I had to get on the train that morning, and I took my Walkman with nothing in it, and I headed for Ayr. And it's about 15-20 minutes on the train. I got to the shop and I was so excited about buying a cassette for my new Walkman. And I arrived into the shop that day, not sure what I wanted. I knew I wanted something that had lots of guitars, lots of drums. Other than that, no idea. But I was drawn straight to the front cover of a very specific album, and I noticed this album was called Dookie. Now Dookie is of course an early album by a band who are now hugely successful called Green Day. But I'd never heard of Green Day. I didn't know anything about them, didn't know anything about this album. So I bought the album with my £10 gift voucher and I went to go home, but instead of getting the train I decided to get the bus. I had never ever decided to get the bus home from Ayr to Troon, ever. I'd always gone on the train because it was quicker. The bus took longer, but I got on the bus, I went straight to the back seat of the bus, there was nobody else there. I popped the cassette in, put the headphones on, and the next 39 minutes and 38 seconds absolutely blew my mind. Dookie is the album that completely and utterly changed my life. Now I don't know if that sounds ridiculous to some people or not, but I believe everybody has that album. And if it's not an album, it's a book. If it's not a book, it's a film. If it's not a film, it's a show. Something that you were utterly engrossed in that moment that blew your mind. The hairs on the back of your neck stood up. You could take on the world, change the world. You'd never been so motivated, so pumped up, you were buzzing, you were raring to go. And in that moment you felt yourself grow up, you could achieve your dreams, you could touch your dreams. Just everything in that moment, everything felt absolutely incredible. That's my why. That moment, that feeling right there. What I get to do every day is help other people discover that feeling in their work, in their personal life, and not just discover it, completely and utterly embrace it and find out how to use that moment in everything they do forever.